Okay, this is your help for your homework that's due on Monday. It is the direct variation, making the equations, tables, and graphs. So I'm going to do two problems for you. I'm going to do number 3 on the front side, and I'll do number 6 on the back. Okay, from the table you can see that I'm missing some values for x and y, but I do have two values there. So those two values are going to be very, very important to me because that's going to help me with the equation on this problem. So from the two values, I'm going to start with y equals k times x. I'm going to substitute the values in. So y is 10 and x was 5. At this point, I want to solve for my k, so I divide by 5. When I divide by 5, 5 divided by 5 is 1, or I'm just going to put k. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So now that I know my constant, k equals 2, I can substitute it back into my equation, but instead of using k, I'm going to use 2. So I'm going to say 2x. So this is my equation for that problem right there. So since I know the equation, I can say y equals 2x. I know my constant's 2. So I can pick any variables I want to for my table. So I'm going to try and pick the easiest ones. So I'm going to start with 0. Because I know when I plug 0 in for x, I get 0 for y, and my answer, my ordered pair is 0, 0. The next easiest one I might pick is 1. Because I know if I multiply 1 times 2, I'm going to get 2. So my ordered pair is 1, 2. Well, 5 10's already given to me, so I'm going to use the 5 10. These are probably the only points that I'm going to be able to graph on this graph, but I'm still going to fill out my table. So after 5, I'm probably going to use 6 and then 7. So I know that 6 times 2 is 12, and my ordered pair is 6, 12. And I know 7 times 2 is 14, so my ordered pair is 7, 14. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to graph everything here because my table is only so big. One of the things I do know is the first point I graphed was 0, 0, which is my origin. So that's going to be right around there. I know I chose the point 1, so if I start at my origin, go over 1, my y was 2. And again, that's as close as I can get it right now on this paper. So I know that's going to be 1, 2. The next one was 5. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go up 10. And that's the only other point that I can plot from my ordered pairs. I'm going to connect. Hopefully yours is better. And this equation is y equals 2x. Okay, the next one I'm going to help you with is number 6. And this one, I told you in class, is going to be a fraction. And the reason I know it's going to be a fraction is because my y value is less than my x. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did before. So I'm going to find the equation for this problem. So my equation starts with y equals k times x. I'm going to go back to my table, and I know my y value is 3 and my x value is 9. So I'm going to substitute my y value of 3 and my x value of 9. I'm doing the same steps. I want to solve for k, so I'm going to divide by 9. Do it to the other side. 9 divided by 9 is 1, or just k. And 3 divided by 9, when I simplify it, becomes 1/3. So this is my constant. So when I plug it back in, I use y equals 1/3 x. So now that I know my constant, my k, is 1/3, I know my equation, y equals 1/3 x. So now I can start plugging some points over here. So my input is my x. I'm going to start with some easy numbers. So I'm going to use 0 first, because I know 0 times 1/3 is going to be 0, and that point I know for sure. So I notice, and if you remember in class I talked about this, my denominator is 3, so my x values I'm going to choose are going to be multiples of 3, so that when I substitute it, I get a whole number. So after my x is 0, I'm going to go with probably 3, 6, and then 12. So I'm choosing all multiples of 3. So when I plug this in here, I notice that 1/3 times 3 is 1. 1/3 of 6 is 2. 1/3 of 12 is 4. So now that I got that, I know my ordered pair is going to be 3, 1, 6, 2, 9, 3, and 12, 4. So now I can start plotting my points here. I know the first one is 0, 0. Whoops. Done. Done. So that's going to be my 0, 0. My next point is 3, 1. So I'm going to go over from my origin, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up 1. And that's going to be 3, 1. My next one is 6, 2. I'm going to go from my origin over 6. And I'm going to go up 2. That's going to be 6, 2. And I'm going to go from my origin over 9 and up 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be 9, 3. And when I connect it, that's what it's going to look like. It's not very steep. 1/3 x. I would not use a decimal for this one because it does repeat. Hope this helps.